A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. An interesting topic which we are going to discuss with some wonderful brand owners today with us. So, before we start the session, Vidur, I'll just give 1 minute to you and to other panelists as well to just talk about what your marketing philosophy is in today's day and age.
Hi, my name is Dr. Sujit Paul. For us, we have only one objective for the country: to make India more affordably acceptable for the healthcare, and that's what we are doing. So we make very high quality generic medicines and wellness products. So we have only one mission that we have for us. It is definitely not of the top line turnovers, neither EBITDA nor IRR. It is very clearly to ensure that every Indian can afford medicine and wellness products.
Hi, so for us, we're from O3 Plus Professional Skincare, so it's available at all the salons across the country. So for us, everything about marketing has always been about uplifting the beautician to a beauty therapist with education. So everything is about like keeping the beautician in the front, because that is who uses our product for the customers, and that is how we do it. So we want to give skin solutions with the help of a beautician by upgrading her to a beauty therapist with education. That is how we are looking at.
Hi, I'm Shawn from Paragon, and like another basic need other than medicines is footwear, which we take for granted sometimes. So Paragon being a legacy brand, our aim is, our objectives are to ensure this basic requirement is met for the nation. And a lot of people today, I mean, you would be surprised to know how many people struggle to afford basic footwear itself. So one of the things that we're trying to do is make sure that it's an affordable footwear product is available for the nation.
So I'm going to start with you only, Shawn. In today's day and age, how has market tech shaped up for you, and how the digital landscape is giving you the opportunity to play well on the legacy of the brand?
So we've been a very traditional marketeer for a very long time. We used to use a lot of celebrities and traditional media for a very, very long time. For us, e-commerce was and still is a very small percentage of the overall turnover. However, be it online commerce or offline, the fact is that digital marketing is something that cannot be ignored. It is not surprising, I'm sure most people are aware here, that while Paragon is a brand which is very prevalent in the and highly sold in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 towns, even rural, many rural towns, because we have a distribution of 2 lakh plus retailers. One of the things when I was when I was presenting plans to directors, and some of the older directors said, do people in rural areas actually go on Instagram and Facebook? And I think if you see the figures today, digital media is so prevalent across tiers, town classes, that is not something that we can just ignore. So of course, what we do is we try and create communication to address the concerns and to engage with the audiences at that level. So, and it's very regional based communication, right? And here in Bangalore, if you go to the hinterlands of Karnataka, it's in Kannada and in a language and in a tone that that resonates with them. So that's what we are trying to do. That's how we're trying to leverage digital media. And we've done, whether it's social media promotions to advertising through IPL and the ICC World Cup, which went by. We've been doing a variety of things to address this audience in their own language and in a tone that they can, connect with us.
Sure. Vidur, your take on this?
Yeah, sure. So definitely, even for us, you see that how suddenly new cities are always coming up. When you see your demographics, when you see your data, you see new cities are coming up. So it's very important to actually engage with that audience with that kind of a language, with that kind of a text body as well, because that is who you're trying to approach. And also, what we see is that as you go to the newer cities, you will actually see that a lot of people that are actually buying beauty products are the husbands of the wives. And that's again a very, very interesting observation. When you go to like the third tier cities in India, you will actually see that people who are buying the beauty products are the husbands of the wives, because they are the ones who have the faster access to the mobile. So, even something like this, you really, if you keep that in mind, you can really engage, because that's a completely opposite of what I'm talking about. I mean, it's a beauty product, but somebody like a husband of a wife is actually buying it for her. So it's like that. You have to keep engaging, keep innovating, keep reading the data, and that's how you plan your strategies. Yeah. You never know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's again.
So for us, it is a combination of beauty and health, wellness, and medicines. So the way how we operate is that we first ensure that for all our products, if it's hair, skin, any of the products that we have, this comes out in the best of formulation, a well-researched R&D formulation out. Now, once that has been taken care of, the integration that we do is on the price point. Now, unfortunately, Indian market is heavily priced in multiple beauty products that you go through. And there's a huge fat which is there between the actual cost price and what is sold to the end consumer. Now, that's what we obliterate. So for all 850 stores of ours, if you walk in, you will see the best of serum, best of vitamin C serum, best of vitamin E serum, best of the drinks are less than half the cost of the with a much better ingredient of the market. Now, if retailers do not understand that it's important to also give, like probably what Paragon does, to give a good value to the end consumer. It is, see, and that is the only reason, why you'll see that most of the new brands, they are there for a very short term. They're for 5 years, 10 years in the market, and they're out. Because their thought process is to ensure how much of customers they would get, how much of top line they would drive. That's not what it should be. It should be how much value you can actually give to the end consumer, so that he can understand that I can come back and take this product again and again and again. And there is where your top line also comes up. Now, that's called the actual jargon of marketing. Unfortunately, in today's arena, whenever I find absolutely reverts in many of the brands. And that's the reason it's very, very short term. And it's a short term bubble of growth for a couple of years. You show a nice fat profitabilities and IRRs, and then suddenly the slump down. You check back on data of whatever I said, this is exactly what you will find. So we don't do that. Even for our medicines, be it any therapeutic segment, be it cardio, obs, gynae, peds, gastro, nephro, these are extremely well priced. For example, if someone have a cardiac patient or diabetic patient in home, they would know that easily their bill value goes to an average of 5,000 rupees. If they walk in any of the Dawa India stores, the same molecule goes to easily at 1,500 rupees or 1,000 rupees. So way lower cost. And that's what marketing is all about. Marketing is not about how much you squeeze out from the end consumer. Marketing is truly about how much you actually give value to the end consumer.
Since we are talking about marketing in today's day and age, when we see a clutter of brands spread all across, how do you ensure that your brand's voice is being heard? And I mean, any specific campaigns which has really worked for you in the past? You want to talk about that?
We are present all across the country in the rural and in urban sections. Now, any of the store, moment you go in, you will find that you have a plethora of the similar product what you get in any of the large beauty segments. Or you get the similar medicines what you get in any other pharmacy. So moment you as a consumer or a patient picks that up. For example, I have 8 varieties of toothpastes, and which are less than half the cost. I get it manufactured in the same place where others manufacture. So moment you know that, hey, it's the same product, then you yourself will go back home and say, why do I need to take something else? And that's called marketing. Marketing is not about, how much of artificial intelligence jargon that you built up. Marketing is not about how much of glamour you built into it. In India, since we are extremely there in villages, we know more than 92% people cannot afford a leather chappal. They have to wear a Hawaii. Am I right? That's a statistics. What are we talking about nomenclatures of marketing? Marketing is about how you can drive that value to them. See, Indian middle class, they are highly aspirational. You must understand that. Unfortunately, they cannot afford everything, but they're aspirational. So they know that if they use a vitamin E serum in a normal market, it would cost close to 3,500 rupees. If they go to my store, they would get the same similar product at maybe 450 rupees. So that's the price difference.
So you're playing on the price point.
We apply on quality. That's what I said the first. And price is a derivative of that.
Shawn, we all know about how relatable Hawaii Chappal is to Paragon. So tell us about any of your recent marketing campaigns, which has actually worked for you.
So what we've done is, till the end of 2022, we had a string of celebrities. And what we realized is, and this some came through research, that, the humble Hawaii chappal or any kind of footwear, mostly open footwear, is what is worn in the smaller towns and even in cities by lower income groups, middle and lower income groups. It's a matter of trust. Okay, there's a certain number of trust because think of it this way: what happens when your footwear gives way in a very crucial point of time in your day? Okay, we've been through it at some point of time, and that trust and that it's a matter of emotion that is attached to, and it sounds very odd that how emotional can you get about a pair of footwear here? At the end of the day, it's a chappal or a Hawaii chappal or a sandal or whatever, but it's important for that audience. So what we did was we moved from a very product communication and benefit-led communication to a very emotional, try to connect emotionally with our audiences through campaigns that we launched last year, and the tagline was "Har Kadam Aapke Saath," and it's just not about wearing the footwear and the quality and this thing, because for a brand like Paragon, people expect quality, people expect reliability, but what that footwear means to you, what that chappal or the sandal means to you, that's very important. So last year, people are still coming out of the whole COVID, post-COVID, the trauma that we went through during COVID, and people still had those latent memories in their head. So that campaign kind of really triggered something in our audiences, and it worked very well for us. It gave us a fair bit of traction in terms of recall, as well as basic brand connect with our core TG. So while the footwear market is largely undifferentiated, but definitely through these campaigns, and we did a couple of them, we did something around the festive time also, we created an emotional connect for this product and this category with our audiences.
Without coming to you, how are you ensuring that, our Instagram feeds are showcasing the right marketing segments which the product stands for?
Right. So, being a legacy brand for over 20 years that we've been there, so for the last couple of years, what we've been focusing upon is to make sure that we're getting the right amount of the younger audiences in. So everything that we are doing in terms of our Instagram campaigns are focusing upon that. As a result, today we are having it is one of the highest followed Instagram account of a skincare brand in India that we are having. We're close to 700K pure skincare users. 700K, and we are going to be 1 million in the next maybe 1.5 years. And it's purely skincare. It's not a makeup that is selling. So what we are doing is that we're trying to make sure that since a girl's mother has been using the product for the last 20 years, it is very important now for that girl to also get it into her home. So that is how we are making sure that our age demographics are in the right place and the right kind of product offering that we are giving to the new age customer. That is how we're trying to make sure. So all the campaigns are around that for us.
But do you think it's challenging, I mean, for you as well as for you? I mean, the brands which has been used over generations, now when you see the Gen Z coming, of course, they have different aspirations and different brand, they stand for different brand value, they expect something different, more new age, something more cooler. So, I mean, is your marketing initiative also talking to your customer in the same language?
So, definitely, we have been doing a lot of online exclusive launches because of the vast distribution network we have. Because what happens is that a lot of times when you have distributors for the last 20 years, they do not like it if the product is available online. So we come up with new ranges for them. But what is very interesting is that the way the digital marketing and the media is moving, today our same offline distributors are sending us screenshots of the online exclusive products and placing the orders for that. So that is how, again, something which is, you try to do that at the same time. Now they want that as well. So you have to continuously keep innovating, and that is how the market is.
Sure. Shawn?
Yeah, I mean, you raise a very relevant point, and this is something that I've seen in my previous role. I was with Raymond, another legacy brand, and maybe just my fate that I have to jump from one legacy brand to another. But the legacy can also be kind of a baggage. It is kind of a baggage. There are pros and cons to it. It builds trust, no doubt, but like you mentioned about Gen Z. Yes, Gen Z's expectations are very different. And if we think, I think it's no longer an insight these days, but if you think that young kid in, say, a small town or a rural, a village has a different aspiration. I mean, who doesn't aspire? If he doesn't aspire, he or she, I mean, they definitely aspire to wear something which is worn by an urban audience. It's no longer that divide that, okay, this is not for us. They aspire to have finer things in life. And what we are trying to do is create value. So, for us, take a simple example of a product like Crocs. I mean, Crocs is a brand, but the product is clogs, right? That is one of the fastest growing categories in footwear. Sliders, which is something which used to be worn largely in urban areas, is something which you will see being worn by your delivery boys who come to your home and small towns. So these are fast growing categories. They don't want to wear the Hawaii chappal. They don't want to wear the blue and white. So we have to push ourselves and come up to speed with those kind of categories, with those kind of products, and with that kind of marketing, which will appeal to this generation. With the they will not accept what their parents wore, and this goes same with most categories.
Okay, for us, I think it's almost similar to what both of you said, but I'll talk in little different terminologies. For us, it's very tricky because India traditionally have been a brand-driven market. Like a physician writes brands, and you go to a pharmacy. It's for example, it's Calpol 500, Calpol 650. We sell paracetamol 650, paracetamol 500, whatever it is. So it's a molecule, right? The same thing what the government of India is trying to do. It's very, very difficult, when a set of prescription comes with a specific names, and we say, why do you need this name? You can pick up anything of the similar molecule. So it's a tricky thing. But if I have to talk about innovation and marketing, then let me give you some examples. For example, patients who are usually vegetarians, they would definitely have a deficiency of methylcobalamin, commonly known as vitamin B12. Now, if someone has a deficiency of vitamin B12, usually the consumer have to go to the hospital and they have to take a shot, which is close to 650 to 700 rupees. The innovation that we have bought is that You don't need to go to a hospital. You just come to the store. There's a thin strip. You just put it on your tongue, and that's as good as 1500 mcg, so the shot is done. And it's only 12 rupees. So rather than someone going to the hospital and taking a shot, you can come to a pharmacy and take a strip. You don't even need water, and it's only 12 rupees. So multiple such innovations have been worked out. If you walk into any of our stores, you will see. Now that's the transition that is going through, and that will be the new India for the next generation.
So before we throw open the floor for questions, one common question for each one of you. I want to know what kind of digital ad spend are you making in the current financial year, and going forward, is it going to increase further?
So for us, definitely, being an offline first brand, what one thinks is that TVC is the way to go, or offline marketing is the way to go. But today, what we are doing is that our digital ad spends is also comprising a lot about our offline ad spends as well. So all the teams together today have to cohesively work upon a marketing budget. And what happens is that most of it for us is going towards the digital. Because for us, already the product is there in the market, but the customer is spending more time on the phone. So instead of spending that money on the hoardings and that, even that is very, very important, of course. But a lot of that percentage we are putting in the digital. So a lot of our offline spends are going in the digital bucket. Yeah.
For us, the numbers are more than 50% in terms of percentage on the overall ad spend.
So for us, it would be around 10 to 15% on digital. Also, I think this year, in fact, we are planning to scale it up a little bit because we're looking at much sharper targeting. We also have two brands which cater to the urban audiences, which are younger in their TG targeting. So for that, we need to invest a little higher than on the digital medium. So that's where we are.
So with that, the floor is open for questions. Please raise your hand in case you want to ask any question to our speakers.
All right, any questions? We will have the mic being passed on. Looks like no questions so far. Thank you so much, Ms. Punita, for doing the honors. And to our esteemed panelists, it was an honor to have all three of you here.